to raise.
Honorable Ketchat,
Yes.
interesting to hear from you as a judicial officer in regards to there was a tribunal that was to be set and to probe the allegations against Judge Tunoi, and I think the media brought it out very well and said just a day before, you know, there was pressure from media keeping up that story, and your comments in regards to whether possibly that is even the reason why it had to be constituted, whereas it would have been left out.
Well, first, just as a follow-up on your comment, I think the issue of corruption in the judiciary, I would liken it to the saying that you do not throw out the baby with the bathwater, okay? As much as there could be challenges, the judiciary under the leadership of the Chief Justice William Mutunga has stretched itself. A lot has been done. There is the office of the ombudsperson, and this person receives complaints directly, either through walk-in, either through phone call, either through letters. And these complaints are dealt with as it comes. There's also a unit which has been set up under that office, and they cooperate with EACC, and they do compliance. They move around courts, and they check into if there's the issue of brokers, yeah? Because particularly you'll be aware that the issue of corruption in the courts has been caused majorly by brokers, yeah, middlemen who come in between. That is being dealt with. The issue of the tribunal, yes, the affidavit, the Tunoi affidavit came in from I think 2015 early, and there were internal processes which were ongoing. But when it finally came out to light, the Judicial Service Commission did what the law requires it to do. It set up a team which investigated, and on the face of it, if it appears that there is a case to substantiate, then it will recommend to the President to set up a tribunal. Well, that was done, but again, you are aware that there was this pull and shove because of the politics that has always been there between the judiciary and the executive. And you are aware last time, even when Parliament cut judiciary's budget and all that, now the first response from the presidency was that Tunoi is not a serving judge because he has been declared so by the High Court. But that was a wrong advice, because it is not for the presidency to determine who is or who is not a judge.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But that was changed, but now there's a tribunal, and also Mr. Rao, who had been initially appointed as the chair, I think that has also been set aside because he's not qualified as per the Constitution. So let the tribunal start its work, and all these issues will be dealt with.
Michael, I think you are letting him get away with so much. And I think I agree. Because he's here to trumpet the achievements of JSC and by extension judiciary. So I think we should not be sitting here to listen to a lot of those PR things that are coming from him anyway. Are you worried about the image of the judiciary, particularly the Supreme Court?
Everyone is worried.
Good.
We're all worried.
Michael, what we are saying is it is critical for us to focus on the state of affairs at the Supreme Court, simply because, one, it is the only serious, or it is the only institution that is supposed to arbitrate on a very serious matter. That is the outcome of a presidential election.
Petition.
Petition. Yes, petition. Thanks for that. So I think I saw the coverage on the Standard, was it yesterday or the day before, whereby you brought out a lot of those things, which was commendable. And I think Clay will be happy with that. But moving forward, what we are saying right now, Michael, the Kericho and Manindi by-election, what are the campaign issues? The media has focused on that, but a lot of it has been on the political.
In addition to what Christmas is saying, I would say that for me and for many people, the biggest disappointment has been the judiciary, because of the promises that they held and the reality of what has happened on the ground. Every day we hear new stories of corruption. Just yesterday or today we heard that that the courts are going to block the people from accessing the accounts of Kidero and the wife. And these are methods that are stopping us from fighting corruption. And there are other methods, so you can't just blame brokers. Brokers are not to blame for this. You have the leader of the court saying he's given up. He can't handle it. What should we think if the leader himself says he can't handle it?
Okay. In the interest of time, we need to wind up. Maybe I'll start with you, Crispus. What stories would you like followed up this week? What is it that you'd like the media to maybe follow up and just make sure that they keep the foot on the pedal? Just one.
Come on, I think Kericho and Malindi by-elections are big.
Okay.
Simply because they seem to be dress rehearsals for next year's election.
Okay, so
what we need to be focusing on are the issues on the ground, not the political aspect. I'm not saying that we should not focus on the political aspect, because anyway it is a political process, like you've said. Number two, let me finish. Number two, I think it is time that we started nurturing other alternative voices and showed Kenyans that there is a future beyond Jubilee and CORD.
All right. For me, voter registration emphasizes on that.
For me, national security. We heard about the issues at the airport. National security is an issue for me.
Okay.
Yeah. I think also after all that you said, I think what you need to realize is that here the media is a kind of not short-handed, but the media also, you have to realize that the media is actually dealing with a very, and I'm sorry to use this word, a very ignorant political class, or a very haughty political class, and sometimes a very ignorant electorate, you know. So that's why it becomes very difficult for us to talk about like the issues, because you talk about the issues and that's not what they want to hear. They want to hear whether somebody is cut or not. You get?
All right, thank you very much, gentlemen, for joining us in the newsroom this morning. That's where we're going to wind up the newsroom this morning. But do stay with us right here on Morning Express. We continue. We've got some news headlines coming up at 8 o'clock, but also later on we'll be looking at tuberculosis. It's World Tuberculosis Day coming up within the month, and we'll be looking at some of the gains that we have made as a country. So do stay with us.